And winter is over, so spring is here. And that means it's just about time for the boys of summer to kick off the MLB season. With opening day later on this week, all eyes turn to the weather for the start of the 162-game regular season. So let's dive into some of the risk of weather impacts and how the players adapt to the different climates they face through the course of this long season.
That's right. Our next guest spent several years playing in the majors with the White Sox, the Dodgers, and even the Braves, and he knows all about weather and how it can impact players. So let's bring him aboard, former MLB player and artist, Micah Johnson. He is kind enough to join us now. Great to see you again, Micah. We know that when spring rolls around, we know exactly who to call.
Oh, yeah. Micah, this is an exciting time, right? For baseball fans and players alike. Spring training wraps up, and all the teams, they go from those sweet spots like Florida and Arizona to the regular season homes all around the country and even into Canada. So you, as a former player, can you kind of offer us some of those insights as the impacts when you go for the sunny and summer-like conditions to maybe the cooler spots?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me back. You know, this is, one of my favorite opportunities I've ever had in my life. So it's great to be back here. But the impact is serious. I mean, you spend a lot of time in the warm weather in Arizona and Florida, and you got to go back up north. And, sometimes you get those surprise snow showers. You look at the White Sox schedule. I'm repping them today. They open up in a lot of cold places early on. They're in Minnesota, Cleveland, Boston. And so the schedule makers didn't do them any favors. It's not that fun to hit 98 mile per hour fastballs, inside, jamming your hands and making them sting the rest of the game. So there is definitely an impact there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Somebody's had it out for the White Sox. Let's talk about the big news in the offseason, Micah, which is what happened to the Trop, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. Of course, Hurricane Milton shredded it. I mean, the roof was ripped apart. Now the Rays will be making their games at Steinbrenner Field. But this is important because how much does this challenge when you're now in an outdoor environment in Florida in the dog days of summer instead of what they had before with the indoor games at Trop Field?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody, listening has ever been to Florida in the middle of the summer. It is unbearable. Shout out to everybody in Florida who's living through the summers, because I was down there rehabbing one time and when I broke my hand, and I had to call the general manager for the Braves. I said, you got to get me out of here, man. It's, the thing about it, I think, is going to be, with baseball now, there's less grip on the pitchers' hands that they can use. And so it's so humid down there and it's so slippery, and those balls are slippery. There's a lot of, they're not as rough as people think they are. So getting that slippage, especially pitchers, the ball coming out of their hands, it's going to come out differently. So there's definitely going to be some obstacles to overcome for them. And also playing in a minor league stadium, it's a lot different than, a big league environment. And so there's going to be some adversity, but the Braves, that's a great team who's always overcome adversity. So I'm excited to see what they do and the opportunity that's in front of them and see how they capitalize on a great season, to be honest with you.
All right, and I hear you mentioning the Braves. You've called Atlanta home, you've called Chicago home, LA home, all very different climates. Which one is your favorite? We're curious here at Fox Weather in terms of weather for your home games, and where would you say you like to visit? What's your favorite area to visit on the road as well?
I mean, is there anything better than Chicago in the summertime? I mean, that's probably, A1 position right there. Because I remember opening up and it was cold, and it finally started to warm up, and, there's nothing better than that. But to visit, I really like New York. I went to New York late in the season, September, and it had that kind of fall feel to it, the changing of the leaves and all that, and the atmosphere. I really enjoyed that. New York in the fall is, September is a nice time of year.
I would agree with you as well. Fall's one of my favorite months. One of our producers behind the scene is cheering you on. She's from Chicago, so you answered correctly with that first one.
Nothing better than it.
Yeah, and last year you joined us here in studio. I remember that for the London series, and you tried your hand at forecasting. I remember that's something that you like to do. So let's take a look at that really quickly. You let me know if you need my help.
Yeah. Take a rest. I got it from here.
All right.
So as you can see, it's going to be a beautiful Saturday in London. 6 o'clock game, London time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Beautiful sun. So, if you're going out there, if you're in London, it's going to be beautiful. Boom, you know what I'm saying? The whole sun. It's going to be sunny. So, wear some sunscreen. I know it's usually cloudy there. So, put that sunscreen on and go enjoy some baseball.
And so here we are again. It's 2025. We're going to give you another shot at doing this for the 2025 MLB opening day. Take it away.
Well, thanks for having me back. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take it from here. You guys take a rest, take a little coffee break, whatever you need. So look at this. I mean, can you beat this opening day weather right here? We got New York sunny, Kansas City sunny, Arlington a little cloudy, but that's good because you know how hot it gets down there. Phoenix sunny, San Diego sunny. It's going to be a great opening day. You know, if you're a kid, if you're a parent with some kids, let them stay home on opening day. Should be a holiday. Let them sit home, enjoy it. Get some hot dogs, some Cracker Jacks. I did it growing up. Look at that. Look at those. I mean, Kansas City 75. You can't beat that on opening day. Let's look around here. You know, little cold in New York, but that's all right. You know, the atmosphere is going to be booming, and that's going to amplify and get the blood flowing for the guys. That's not going to bother them one bit. Even 55 in Chicago. Look at that. Oh, this is a great opening day.
Yo, Micah, tell us about that. Those rowies, the risk of weather impact that we got. By the way, great energy. I like it. And you're translating it to everybody at home, telling, look, kids want to stay home. They want to be able to watch opening day. I love it. Micah, real quickly, by the way, whenever we talk with athletes and you had such a great career, is there a game that stands out in your mind when you're thinking, man, this weather was brutal? Like, why are we out in this?
Man, I'll tell you what, it was like in AAA. So my last year might have been the game that kind of just, hey, you might want to go do art, man. It was in Toledo, and it was snowing so hard, and we were just out there. I was just standing in the snow, just looking around, and it's like, yeah, this might be it for me, to be quite honest with you. It was Toledo. You know how the Great Lakes and the lake effect snow. You know, that was it for me.
And real quickly, run out of time, about 15 seconds. You mentioned, hey, this might be it for me. I need to do some art. You're doing that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that after baseball?
Yeah, art for me is just a conduit to really reach people and inspire people to chase their dreams. That's all I'm doing. It's all about just empowering people to chase their dreams, live audaciously, and really, art's my vehicle to do that. So I'm just very grateful and just an instrument of God.
I love it. And I love the energy that you exude, Micah, bringing it with the forecast as well. Former MLB player and artist Micah Johnson, thank you for your time tonight here on Fox Weather.
Oh, man, thank you, guys.